In 2008, Vince Gilligan gave the world one of the great TV dramas of all time, Breaking Bad. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. Just head on over to the IMDb and have a look at the top rated shows, and you'll find above The Sopranos, above The Wire, above Mad Men, above 6 Feet Under, above all of these great TV shows and box sets that changed the way we watch television. Breaking Bad, right there at the top, voted for by more than 2 million people. Now, that wasn't enough for Vince. He wanted to make a prequel series, and in 2015 he gave us Better Call Saul. Now, Better Call Saul, a lot of people, including myself, went to with some trepidation, thinking you can't perfect perfection. What are you doing making a prequel or a sequel or any sort of spin-off series when you have made such a brilliant Walter White cinematic universe? But he did manage to expand it by giving us brilliant stories that interwove into the world that he had already made and told us a lot about how we got to where we got to in Breaking Bad. He saw it through the lens of Saul Goodman, who was played by Bob Odenkirk. But alongside Bob Odenkirk was a character called Kim Wexler, who was played by the brilliant Rhea Seehorn. Now, finally, we've got to the star of the new Vince Gilligan show. It was first mooted in about 2022, but we've had to wait 3 years to find out what Pluribus is all about and to take a look at it. And do you know what? It's been worth the wait.
Good morning, Carol. Is there anything we could do to cheer you up?
Spoiler alert, this is a 5-star show that is absolutely fantastic and you're definitely going to watch. So I'll give you 2 options as to how you can enhance your experience with Pluribus before you watch it. One, you can go and read my 5-star review in the Times on thetimes.com right now and then watch this video. Or you can watch this video and then go and read my 5-star review on thetimes.com. Both will be enjoyable experiences, but which order you choose, well, that is entirely up to you.
Rest assured, Carol, we will figure out what makes you different.
Figure it out, why?
So you can join us.
Let's talk about Pluribus and a little bit more about what you can expect. This is one of those shows that there has been quite a lot of secrecy about. There's been very little information put out about the show in advance, just a few little hints here and there that A, we know it stars Rhea Seehorn, who was Kim Wexler in Better Call Saul, and 2, we know it's kind of different to anything that Vince has done in recent times. Now, he did once back in the day work on the X-Files, so he's got a little bit of form in the sci-fi kind of mystery world, and this is a show that's much more in that world than it is in the Walter White world. Although, as I'm about to explain, it is actually still quite close to the Walter White world, because it's set in Albuquerque, and secondly, because it stars the woman who played Kim Wexler, the brilliant Rhea Seehorn.
If I asked right now, would you give me a hand grenade?
Yes.
What about a bazooka? What about a tank?
Oh, sure.
Right, can you actually tell me what this show is about? You're probably thinking, well, okay, here we go. Rhea Seehorn plays a character called Carol Sturcker. She is an author of kind of pirate romance novels, and she seems to be quite a popular one. However, she doesn't exactly see this as high art and is pretty miserable generally about her life. We meet her as she's on a book tour traveling around promoting this series which stars a pirate called Raban. Now, when she's doing this tour, she ends up in a bar with her agent, and everything in the world suddenly changes. A virus appears to have swept across the world and affected almost everyone except Carol. Now, Carol finds herself very suddenly alone, very suddenly in a world which is full of people who don't appear to be making much sense. Now, this is a show that it's very easy to spoil, and I don't want to spoil for you the surprises that are coming in the first and second episodes. But what you do need to know is that Carol remains very much independent of thought, and everyone else seems to come together into some sort of collective consciousness. She is alone in the world, or maybe she's not quite alone, but she goes on a journey to try to find out what is going on and where, if anywhere, there are any other people who might think like her.
We just want you to be happy.
Can I ask a question?
Certainly, what would you like to know?
How do I reverse all this?
Now, Carol's main point of contact with the new collective we, that seems to be almost everyone else in the world, is this person called Zosha, who is played by Carolina Wydra. Zosha, like everyone else in the collective we now, is relentlessly positive, and it makes Carol look even more miserable than she is. And her relationship with Zosha becomes quite central early on to finding out more about what's happening in this very expansive universe that's been created by Vince Gilligan, but also driving forward a lot of the anger and frustration that we have in Carol's world, as she just cannot understand why everyone is doing what they're doing, and equally why no one else seems to be bothered by the fact that everything in human nature, in humanity, seems to have been given away to a new way of thinking. Now, this is one of those shows that has a huge amount of what is going on about it, and that is obviously completely intentional. We have a large story arc that's going through this series, which is about what has happened to the world, what is this virus, how has it got there, why has it happened, and when, if ever, is it possible for things to go back to how they were.
What the
As with all great science fiction and mystery content, this is as much about the big questions that are asked through your protagonist as it is about the central mystery and solving it. This is a story that, through Carol, asks a lot of big questions about the way the world is, about individualism, about idealism, about what it is to be operating as a collective, and how important it is for all of us to retain our individuality. Now, poor Carol, she's shouting a lone voice at many times during this season through an exceptional performance from Rhea Seehorn, who, as an aside, did not win an Emmy. She was nominated twice, I think, for her performance in Better Call Saul as a supporting actress. In this, I think she should be nominated for a lead performance, and I think she may well win. She certainly deserves to. This is a show that has that Vince Gilligan feel to it, just like Breaking Bad and just like Better Call Saul. Obviously, it's set against the dusty Albuquerque deserts and streets, but also it's got that kind of direction to it, those pauses, those points within the show where you feel they've left a lot of life in. And I think that's something that he does very well. You never feel rushed. The pacing is slow, it's purposeful, and all the time you're drawn into this world. I know it's probably taken quite a long time for me to not tell you very much about Pluribus so far, but unfortunately that is the nature of the show. I think if I did, then you wouldn't enjoy it as much when you went to watch it yourself. The first 2 episodes were released at once, and then it is released weekly on Apple TV Plus. I urge you to go and give it a try. If you're a fan of the work of Vince Gilligan, I think you are going to be pleased with this. A very different feel to the show, but an excellent show once again.